Hello, and welcome to Experience of the Soul, a weekly space to help you grow, prosper, and gently integrate meaningful change in your life. This week's spiritual teacher and author Cynthia Alice Anderson explores what it truly means to live after transformation, how to ground new awareness through daily spiritual practice, discipline, and intentional integration, rather than rushing into the next shift. So, take a breath, settle in, and listen with an open heart. And now, Cynthia Alice Anderson.
Hello and welcome to the Experience of the Soul podcast. My name is Cynthia Alice Anderson. I'm the host. I'm also lovingly known as RCA, and so happy to bring you the show today. I'm smiling ear to ear because Sean and I were just really laughing right before coming on, and I love that. I love bringing the joy into the show as long as I can still talk. Sometimes Sean has me laughing so hard I can't even talk. So Sean, welcome. Glad to have you with us today.
Thank you so much. We do have fun.
We do. What a blessing.
Big time. Big time. Well, hello, friends. Welcome to episode 407 of Experience of the Soul. This week has a quieter, sort of settling energy. It's like something has just happened, right? And we're just sort of letting it land. So we are just coming out of Easter Sunday, which was observed yesterday, of course.
Right.
In the Christian tradition, this begins the Easter season. This is a time that shifts from the moment of resurrection into the practice of living renewed day by day, which it was very hard for me not to sing. So I'm going to take my
day by day.
That was like the ones I remember my dad playing guitar, like sitting in my room singing that song as he played guitar. That's I love it. Anyway,
that's a great tune. Godspell,
big time. But yep, totally. So to all those who are celebrating, happy Easter.
Yes, happy Easter, everyone. Yes. This is lovingly called Easter Monday in the church world.
Yeah, absolutely. And on Wednesday this week, many Buddhists observe Hana Matsuri. This is also known as the Flower Festival, celebrating the birth of the Buddha. So it is a gentle and joyful day. It's often marked with flowers and small acts of sweetness, and it reminds us that awakening can begin in the simplest ways. So we hold our Buddhist friends in our hearts as they celebrate.
Oh, absolutely. Honor my Buddhist friends. Absolutely. I love so many of the practices. And, in Buddhism, they say we're not a religion, we're a practice. So that's it. And that's one of the things we're going to be talking about today. So it's perfect.
Oh, very nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
So also during this week, the Jewish community continues observing Passover, which we mentioned last week, but it concludes at nightfall on Thursday of this week. So this ongoing remembrance of liberation invites reflection, not just on freedom itself, but on how we live once we are free. So we wish you all a joyous and meaningful Passover.
Oh, absolutely. To our Jewish friends. Bless you.
Yeah. And our Just for Fun this week is National Pet Day on Saturday. So whether your pet is curled up next to you right now or running your entire household while you're away, today might be a good day to sort of give them a little extra gratitude. And if you're anything like me, they are probably already pretty spoiled on a daily basis.
Yes, they are at my house too.
I know. All right. So something to think about, little journal prompt for you for the week. What would it look like to not rush past meaningful moments, but actually live in them? Yeah.
Wow. That's a good one, Sean.
Nice one to
really say that one more time, because it brings you right into the present moment with that question.
Yeah. What would it look like to not rush past meaningful moments, but to actually live in them?
Ah, beautiful.
Yeah, I love that. And with that, friends, this is episode 407 of Experience of the Soul. Take it away.
Take it away, RCA. Well, my friends, it is wonderful to be back with you. And I loved bringing you the show on change. It's interesting. Someone once described me as an expert on change. And I don't think I'm an expert, but what I am good at is seeing patterns. And I love when so many of you are seeking to come out of an old pattern and move into something new for you. And I love it because it's good for you. And it also means your connection with God is increasing. So this is what I hope to do in my own life, and it's what I hope to inspire and ignite in you. So this is a powerful time, and I wanted to follow up that show with some helpful information to kind of ground yourself in this way of thinking, and to continue to think about change as not something to be feared, but something to be embraced, celebrated, and, as I've said, even initiated by you, because it is such an important part of spiritual growth and requires a great deal from you. And that's what I want to talk a little bit about today, is how change is going to help you, and how some of the practices I want to give you are going to help you embrace it. And it helps you in every area of your life, not just spiritual and mental thoughts in from the mental realm and the spiritual realm of feeling and connection with God, but it helps you in the outer as well. And so I want to help you a little bit establish some kind of daily practice and connection for your spiritual journey, so that you can rest assured that when you are being guided into change, you are very, very clear. Because there's also a time to hold. Sometimes there's a time to really move into deep forgiveness work. Sometimes you have to let that deep forgiveness work you've already done really settle in. And so, as Sean said, especially the time after Easter, there's this big resurrection energy, and we're kind of like wanting to, for some reason, I'm thinking of that game, Sean. I don't know if you see it. It's like when sand goes over these little things, it kind of makes a noise, and then it all settles down. We're trying to get all this divine energy to move in and through and kind of settle into our bodies, into our spirits, into our souls, and so that we can really engage life from this new level of awareness. So rather than thinking, oh, I have to change now, I've just had oh, it's just Easter, time to change again. No, you can't constantly be in a state of change in terms of making these big spiritual steps. And I hear people often kind of pushing some of these ideas. And the truth is, there is a time of what I like to call just simple integration of a truth. If you've come through a big time of change, it takes a while to integrate this new way of thinking and being. And what will help you integrate is some daily practices. These practices are meant to be grounding. They are meant to be supportive. They, at times, will challenge you, but mostly what they will do is help you stay focused on the spiritual and help you ground into the aspect of your being, this new change that you called forth. Remember that I said change is not happening to you but through you, that nobody made you change, that in fact this change was initiated from the level of the soul. And so now you want to integrate all of the many changes that came your way. So now is the time of deepening your practice and integrating the new change. So I want to first talk about you having discipline, like loving yourself enough to have discipline on your journey. And I will relate it to my physical practice right now of my jujitsu practice. So I have learned, if I do not do jujitsu on a regular basis, the next time I go, like if I miss a week, that happened when I moved, I think it was 6 or 7 days in a row that I did not train. When I went back into the gym, I felt like I knew nothing. I felt disconnected. I didn't feel like my uniform, called a gi, fit. I felt like I'd gained 5 pounds, and it did not feel good. And it didn't feel good because I had not maintained my discipline. But now in the last few days, so between Saturday and, well, let's say in the last 5 days, I've worked out. Today will be the 3rd day. Now that is on point for me. When that is happening, I feel confident. My spine is straight. I feel strong. Yes, I'm sore. My muscles are sore, but I feel proud of myself for keeping my commitment. And so on your spiritual journey, this is an aspect as well. So for me and my individual journey, the spiritual isn't hard at all because I love it. I'm wired for it. And I naturally am disciplined on my spiritual journey. So for you, what is the discipline you are being asked to initiate in your life to integrate this change? So you see, a lot of people think, oh, I've had this change. I'm good. I don't need to work anymore. And what I find is that we initiate the change happens, we move into this new level of awareness. But if we don't ground this new level of awareness with daily practices, it's hard to hold and we start to fall back into old ways of doing and being. So discipline yourself, my friend, and know that you are worth it to discipline yourself to do the things that will keep you grounded, that will help you integrate this most recent change. One of the key things that will help you integrate this change is every single day doing something spiritual. I would suggest the exact same practice every single day for a while, because what you're doing from a biological standpoint is you're creating new and increased neural pathways. In other words, brain connections. You're creating new brain connections in this new state of consciousness. The reason we get pulled back to the old state of consciousness is that that is what we know. And so the new state takes a little more effort in the early days. And so the reason I keep using the word integrating or integration is that the new consciousness has just begun. It's not a foundational awareness yet. It's brand new. And so the more you practice the spiritual on a daily basis, the more real and the more extended this change becomes. And pretty soon, this is the reality you live from now. Yeah. And I will give you an example. When I learned the power of meditation in my life, I was first only meditating 5 or 10 minutes at night before bed. And then I realized this is not near enough. And then I increased to 15 minutes. Pretty soon, I was doing a half hour in the morning and a half hour at night. And what I can tell you is during that time, my spiritual growth catapulted way forward in a way that I didn't even know was possible, simply because I was committing to the practice. So you say, well, I can't do 30 minutes morning and night. Right. Start with 5 minutes every single night. Put a timer on your phone, deep breathe. You can do a guided visualization if you want, if that helps. But 5 minutes of deeper breathing can help you move into that non-ordinary state of consciousness, or as my friend says, extraordinary change of level of consciousness. It helps you move into that. Only 5 minutes of deep breathing. But I don't want you to do, one day, not the next day, put it in your calendar, put it in your planner. If you have to set a reminder and stick to doing it every single day. And I would try every single day for a week and then review and see if you want to go up in time, see if you want to change what the practice is. But I would do 5 minutes a day, every day. If you're new to meditating, try that. Try that. And that will help you integrate the change that's just been made. Because that deep breath takes you into center, out of this third dimensional world, and into the extraordinary, into the spiritual. Simply that 5 minutes of breathing. So that's part of the discipline, is deciding right now today how much you're going to do every day and making time for it. Making time for it. Now you say, well, can I do it every other day? You can, but what I would tell you is it is less impactful to do it every other day. And if you're wanting to do it every other day, I would say ask yourself, why am I not willing to commit to every day for just 5 minutes? Because I want you to think about how much time you're on social media, how much time you're watching TV and Netflix and Prime Video and everything else. And you can't have 5 minutes a day for yourself spiritually. No, no. Every day, I want you to commit to at least 5 minutes of something. My suggestion is a deep breathing because of how centering that can be and how it also brings you back in your body. So often during the day, we get so busy. I do it. I've done it. Sometimes I forget to breathe deeply. And so it doesn't just help you spiritually, it also helps you physically. If you're breathing deeply for 5 minutes, you are going to lower your blood pressure. You're going to become more aware of how you feel mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. You are going to be in a state of calm instead of frenzy and anxiety. And it doesn't even matter if your mind wanders. Continue to seek to deepen your breath and your connection with God. 5 minutes every single day. So that is your discipline. That is your discipline. If you're already doing something every single day, you might want to add a mantra. A mantra. And the mantra could be something very, very simple. Especially if you've gone through change and the change was a little bit of, you felt like, well, where's the ground? This is a huge change. Then you might want to have an affirmation that helps you ground, like something very simple, like, I am grounded and safe in God. I am grounded and safe in God. And just have that run through your thoughts. I am grounded and safe in God. Just let that go as a mantra. And as you're doing a work call, have it in the recesses of your mind and heart. I am grounded and safe in God. Or it could be, I am safe and secure in God. I am safe. I am loved. I am grounded and safe in God. And just allow yourself to repeat that, when you have a moment. If you go to lunch, say that as you're waiting on your order. Don't get on your phone automatically. Like place your order at lunch and then go sit at a table and wait. Just wait. And just see if you can deepen your breathing a little bit, just sitting there. And then imagine saying that mantra. I am grounded and safe in God. So a mantra or affirmation, really they're very similar and closely related things. An affirmation is simply a statement of truth from a very high spiritual level, right? I am grounded and safe in God. A mantra means I repeat it, right? I repeat it, and it helps me move into a different level of consciousness. So as you're moving through change, it helps you stabilize some of those thoughts that might be everywhere because the new energy has not grounded in you yet, right? It's not integrated yet. So this idea, I am grounded and safe in God, can be a powerful one. I also want to affirm for you that if you have come through a big change and you were really a part of this resurrection energy, which we all were, but so many of you were very conscious in it because of your spiritual work, is don't make any big shifts or changes right now because integration takes time, it takes patience, and it takes awareness. And I don't want you rushing to the next thing to think, oh, I've got to do this, I've got to do that, Allow yourself to really simply be in the space of receptivity of this new energy. As you make space, what can happen is, new ideas flow in and just jot them down. You don't have to act on anything right now. Jot them down. Let things settle. Let things settle. So no big shifts right now. No big shifts for the next week. Give yourself a break. No big shifts. Let things settle and integrate. if you are in the change, and having a hard time knowing what's next or how to move into the next phase, journaling might also be very, very helpful because you can journal. Well, as Sean mentioned, that journaling question at the beginning, but you can always journal how you feel. And men so often tell me that, well, I don't journal, but interestingly, men that have worked with me for a long time now say they love to journal and write down their thoughts because they were taught as men growing up, this is their words, not my words, that they were taught to just kind of shut down emotionally. And I've discovered this, with years of working with people, that for women, the accepted emotion is sadness and crying. And for men, it's anger. And in truth, we all have all the emotions and access to all the emotions. And so sometimes when there's a change, emotions can come up. And rather than giving them too much energy, we can journal them, see them for what they are, feelings, and then release and let them go, and not live life solely based on our emotional nature. Because we learn on the spiritual journey as we grow and develop that the emotions are windows into the soul, but the emotions are not the soul itself, right? Emotions tell us if something's been like touch that's old, like kind of a trigger. Emotions can tell us when we're excited and happy and joyful, but emotions can also show us places of healing. So journaling those things can be very, very helpful as you're starting to integrate. And Sean, I can't remember now what the journaling question was. You mentioned it at the beginning. I hope I'm not putting you on the spot too much, but I thought maybe you would read that to help us come back to that question. I thought it was a really good question.
Yeah, absolutely. So the question was, what would it look like to not rush past meaningful moments, but to actually live in them?
Yes, right. That's beautiful. And I think it is applicable. Say it one more time.
Yeah. What would it look like to not rush past meaningful moments, but to actually live in them?
Yes. Yes. Beautiful. Beautiful. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. Journaling in general, right, helps you do just that because if you have to take time to write, and I've had people ask me this, Sean, can I do it on the computer? And it's a hard no. No.
It's not the same. Yeah.
No, it's not the same. Well, part of the reason is the way things, energy leaves the body as you journal, with a pen or pencil. It helps move the energy out. I mean, there's been a lot of research about this, by the way, but it's a completely different consciousness than sitting poking keys on a computer.
That makes total sense.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Especially, and even I think it's even cursive and print are two different sides of the brain. So depending on your process, you might notice what which is which as you journal. But
That's
yeah,
interesting. Do you write in cursive or do you print?
it depends.
Curiosity. Okay, so depending on.
Yeah,
I always print. I don't know why.
Yeah. Well, always it seems like on my release work, I almost always print. But if I'm just kind of doing stream of consciousness, how I feel, that's almost always cursive.
Oh, that's cool. That's interesting.
So I guess most people don't even write cursive anymore. Am I aging myself? Kids don't know how.
Yeah.
Kids today, yeah. But the journaling, Sean, I'm glad you keep mentioning it because it keeps tapping us on the shoulder. Like, don't forget, this is a really important practice, to do. And I find that it doesn't even take a long time. It's just having the fortitude to, have the materials there and sit down and do it, when something comes up. It's just kind of like having a journal there, ready to do it.
And I used to be one of those men who I think I actually said to you at one point that I didn't journal, and then when the intentions journal came around, that was very helpful to me to start the journaling process, to have that direction and that very specific write your intention and to write the
The
different
I
sections of it,
am
the
and
I
the,
am,
yeah.
and yeah.
Well,
Yeah, and
and
so
actually,
that's
yeah.
led me into, and now I, am journaling on a regular basis, which is great, and I'm loving it. So
Oh, yes, it's
yeah,
really, really good. And of course, I'm sure you've noticed it really helps you manage the emotional state because, some of the feelings that you're getting out here, you don't have to express them to everybody. You're in charge of your own emotions. It's called being a spiritual grown up, right? You're in charge of your own emotions. And so you have a feeling, yes, and then you have a choice. Okay, is this the right time to talk about this or not? Because you're aware of where you are. And that right? And that's part of what we
yeah.
talk about, the observer self. You're observing yourself so you're more able to handle the world.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great because it is just for you. And then you
Yeah.
decide how much you let other people in to that
Yes.
process and yeah, I mean, it's
Yes. And we can put the link to the intentions journal in. I was going to mention it, so I'm glad you did. I actually created it with men in mind because one of the men that said I don't journal, I said, well, what if I gave you a how to fill in the blank? He goes, I would love that. And that's how I came up with it. Now, I don't know how many people are using the journal. Um, you know, but people all over the country are using the journal already. So it's really,
yeah.
really sweet. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
friends, there will be making a note for myself now. So just check the show description on whatever platform you're listening on, and you'll find a link to that intentions journal.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. And the other thing I want to mention, we talked a little bit, with Sean about the observer self. And basically what that means is I'm looking at myself as if I were someone else. Like I come up and out and I'm observing myself, and journaling helps you do that because as you go back and look at your feelings, you can kind of think and, oh yeah, this is what I was doing there and this is what I was thinking there. Is there something for me to heal, or is there something for me to say and do, or do I just need to process this on my own, So journaling is very, very helpful and helps you move into the observer self. And we have done many shows in the past where we touch on the observer self. So if this is new to you and you need help or support, definitely, reach out on that. And I don't want to forget to do one of the most basic things, which I think all of my listeners, all of you are already doing, but it is to have a prayer life and to develop that prayer life because our goal is connection with God, and prayer is often talking to God, and that deep breathing and those meditation practices are about listening. But sometimes praying, it's kind of like verbal journaling. You're just saying thank you God for the day and please help me, or this is how I'm feeling. And sometimes when I pray, I just talk to God like a person. And I say, hey God, I need your help today. I'm having a rough day and I want you to lift me up and out because I have important work to do. So I need your help and your guidance. And then I move that into an affirmation. Thank you, God, for guiding me. I am blessed. I am supported. The will of God is made manifest in my life and world. Thank you, God. I am blessed. Thank you, God. I know you're helping me. Thank you, God. I know you're working on my behalf. Thank you. So for me, my prayers become a request, they become an affirmation, and sometimes they become a mantra, all of those things. But see, friends, all of this comes out of my spiritual discipline because every single day I'm connecting with God on a regular basis. And of course, in my case, my whole work is spiritual. But my friends, I can't just go to work and be spiritual. I still have to do my own work at home. I have to get up early or stay up late or make time during my lunch hour. Sometimes my most powerful times are in my lunch hour, even though I've already journaled in the morning. Sometimes I'll do a walk outside and do a mantra as I walk for 10 minutes. So think about that. Think about as you're, seeking to integrate all the change that you've been through to do some of these practices. And the final practice I want to mention is maybe the most important. Sai Baba, the great teacher from India, said this was the most important. He would say, love all, serve all. And so loving service can be a wonderful way to integrate the new consciousness because there is no greater love than service to humanity. And so when you dedicate your service to God and you're serving others, this is a very, very powerful way of being. This is a very powerful way of doing. This is a very powerful way of walking through the world. So, my friends, my hope for you is that you love yourself enough to know that you are worthy to discipline yourself in your spiritual walk, to take time every single day, literally today, during this show. Feel free to turn the volume off, hit pause, and say, RCA, I'll get back to you. Look at that calendar. Make a daily commitment for yourself of what it is you're going to do, even if it's only 5 minutes. Commit to it every day for a week. And then at the end of that week, I want you to do some soul searching about what is next. Do I need to continue this practice another week, a month, a year? Whatever it is, commit to it. Begin to do mantras. Begin to pray, and that deep breathing can really, really help. Remember, no major big shifts because you're still integrating from this former change. So, my friends, we love you. We bless you. We're honored to bring you the show every week. And we are supporting you in consciousness. And we are doing our soul work to the very best of our ability as well. And I sure hope that shines through, because our goal and our mission, my purpose, is to bring you these lessons to support your soul's journey. So, my friends, we're lifting you in the light of God for all good. I hope to see you next week, and blessings on the journey.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Experience of the Soul with Cynthia Alice Anderson. If this message resonated with you, we invite you to share it with someone who might need it today. This show is made possible by listeners like you, and we're grateful for the community that helps keep these conversations available to all. You can learn more or contribute to the show at cynthiaaliceanderson.com/donate. Produced by Kilgore Creative and a production of the Soulworks Group Incorporated. Until next time, take good care. You're listening to the Experience of the Soul podcast channel, bringing you inspiration, teachings, and practices to support your spiritual journey.